Well, I have good news and bad news. Does that look safe?
No.
Good morning. Welcome to Life on the Moose. Welcome back if you've been here before. Before I forget, we have a camera person today. Morning, Karen.
Morning.
So did that entryway look familiar? We need to take care of that entryway a little bit. Actually, we needed to give it a little attention 3 years ago, probably. But you know how it is, life gets in the way and you don't do some of the things that you'd like to do. So today what we're gonna do is we're gonna restain this thing. As you can see, stained and not stained. We have these steel brushes and we're just gonna take this and flake it off and restain it at the same time. So we're gonna have the feet of the ladder in the bucket. That way at least the ladder won't be able to kick out. I think it'll be safe actually. It'll look probably not safe, but I think it'll be better than just having it on the ground for sure. So, but before we do that, take a look at these things. These bolts basically are what clamps this piece of metal, squeezes it together with the one on the other side. So, and this hasn't been tightened down since 2016. That was the year after the fire that went through that killed this tree. So we immediately harvested it and built this entryway. In fact, hopefully I have some pictures to show you of that. This post over here, this log, looks like it's tilted maybe a little bit. So there would have been shrinkage for sure. So what I'm going to do before I lean the ladder up against it is I'm going to tighten these things up. By the way, these pieces of metal go into the ground. I believe it's 3 feet into the ground. And from there's rebar and a whole net of rebar, if you will. And I believe 50 bags of concrete between the two posts. So I don't think it's going to go anywhere. And if you look really close, I'm not sure you can see it. This is off of the ground. The log is actually off of the ground. There is no contact. In the middle of this log, there's a piece of rubber, and that is what the log is sitting on. So this is the biggest of the two logs, and luckily, I think it's right on, it's perfect. It hasn't moved either direction. So all I'm going to do is tighten this down, a couple cranks on both sides, and we'll go from there. What I did is actually have 2 nuts, and one acts as a locking nut, and I just kind of hold this one down and it should come off. All right, there we go. I'm gonna try to give it about 1 full turn on each side and see how that is. Okay, that looks good. Let's tighten these bottom ones up a little bit too. You look closely, you can see that there's a little bend in this bar. So that 1/2 inch steel is no match to the force that can be applied with that bolt running through that log and that nut. So it will bend it and suck it in, as you can tell. Okay, because I think this one's leaning a little, well, I know it's leaning just a little bit. I'll show you what I did here. Is I loosened the top of this one, so there's actually daylight between this strap and the log. And then I loosened the bottom over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the tractor through here, and I'm going to take the bucket as high as it'll reach and just apply a little bit of pressure. See if I can get that top to sway just a little bit. You know, the entire top, maybe an inch is all we need. So I'd like to straighten it out as much as I can. I heard it creak. Hopefully it wasn't too much. Let's go take a look. I think that's better. You can see the far one. Granted, that's a slightly more crooked log and it's smaller in diameter, but I think that looks pretty good. Does that look safe?
No.
That looks good. Same stain we use on all the buildings on Red Moose Ranch. No, they're not paying me. Okay, let's get up on the ladder. All right, the worst thing that could possibly happen today would be if I get my new Life on the Moose shirt dirty. If you see a flaw in my logic, let me know. It's just a little more wobbly not being on solid ground. That's okay. I don't like heights, by the way. So at the very top here, I'm gonna put this stuff on dripping thick. I want it to fall into these cracks, into the checks. Well, we're moving right along on a snail's pace. Just trying to be careful, trying not to drip too much, waste too much, trying not to get hurt. Just have a little bit left on this very end, and then I will have, I would say, 2/3 of the whole thing finished. Karen is going to get water because we are thirsting to death. Okay, let's keep at it. Well, if you're still watching this video and it's 5 years from now, we might have to be replacing this top log. This one big check right here is sounding kind of hollow. So that one, I think, is starting to rot out. But we have other logs, and if need be, we'll replace this one. Thunders are rolling. I better hurry up on this. I have one more ladder to go. That's it. Just that little bit of the end, top of this post, and it's finished. Did I miss any? All right, I think that's it. Whew. Well, I have good news and bad news. The bad news is I got my shirt all full of stain. That's okay. The good news is it really didn't cost me anything. A little Sharpie action. We'll get one eventually, right? Okay, that's it. It's all stained just in time. I felt a couple sprinkles. This stuff does dry pretty darn fast, especially now because the humidity is actually not that high. Nice breeze going on. It's probably 80 degrees. So, a few sprinkles. It really isn't going to hurt anything. If we get a bad downpour right now, yeah, that's not going to be good. But that's it. It looks great. Thanks for watching. I do appreciate it. Got all sorts of stuff to do around the ranch this summer, but hey, I appreciate you watching this one. I'm glad we got it out of the way. Should be good for a couple more years. You probably heard me saying up on top, that big log up on top, probably 5 years. I'm giving it 5 years, and then we're gonna have to scavenge another log and do something maybe a little bit different because that thing didn't last quite as long as I wanted to. I know it's not treated. It's Ponderosa Pine, but yeah, I'd like it to last a little bit longer, but we'll do what we can. It looks good for now, and it's safe, so I'm not worried about it. Thanks again for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you like this sort of thing, hit that little like button below. Maybe subscribe. I don't know, that'd be great. If you are, thank you, I appreciate it. I'll see you next week.